so I've been seeing this thumbnail over and over, and like my recommended on YouTube, and it's like WWE wrestlers that went broke. It looks very AI generated, but I mean, it seemed interesting enough for me to click it. So that's what we're checking out today. We're checking out WWE wrestlers who went broke. If you guys would like to see the original content, you can check out the top link in the description to watch it without me interjecting and pausing and reacting every so often. And if you are a youngin', I would probably recommend that you take a hike. My content is not for the little ones. I don't want you getting in trouble, because the Ghost Girl definitely does end up saying a lot of curses and whatnot. Last thing I want is for a little fella to get in trouble, because I was being a little bit on the unpredictable side. Either way, let's get right into it.
We all know the glitz and glam of WWE. Massive arenas, roaring fans, and wrestlers living the dream.
Boy, this guy, not only does he do the ring announcing for Alberto Del Rio, he comes out here earlier and brings us a note to let us know that that was a 1960 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud 2 valued at over $90,000.
But behind the bright lights, not every story ends in a fairy tale. For some wrestlers, the millions they earned in the ring disappeared almost as quickly as they made them. Whether it was bad investments, extravagant spending, personal challenges, these stars went from headlining WrestleMania to struggling just to get by. It's a reminder that no matter how big the spotlight, life outside the ring can be just as unforgiving. Let us dive in and take a look at some of the WWE wrestlers who went broke. Ric Flair. The Nature Boy, one of wrestling's most legendary figures, ruled the sport with his charisma, signature catchphrase, and 16 world championship titles. At his peak in the 1990s,
damn extravagant
he
robes,
was the
man.
epitome of success, living
I
a
want
life
a Ric
of
Flair
luxury
robe.
with flashy suits, expensive
I'll
cars,
take a Ric Flair
and a
robe,
larger-than-life
please.
persona. However, Flair's extravagant spending caught up with him. He faced financial ruin fueled by costly divorces, mounting medical bills, and tax issues with the IRS. His unpaid tax
All right, see, you gotta pick a struggle, man. It like, if you're gonna be getting divorced and all that, you at least gotta be on top of your taxes, bro. Cause you know the IRS is not gonna play with you. They gonna put your ass in that Boston crab. Put your ass in that Hell's Gate. That's it. Sitting there watching your funds leave. See, you are the sharpshooter right now. IRS is on you, draining your funds. When I heard they could like garnish your wages, I was like, oh, hell no. Let me pay these taxes right now. All right, no. Cannot allow such a thing. Ain't no fucking way.
Taxes added significant pressure, further draining his finances. Despite these setbacks, Flair has managed a remarkable comeback. Today, at 75, he's found stability through business ventures, including his energy drink line and merchandise sales. While his financial struggles left scars, Flair's resilience continues to inspire fans worldwide. But it is not just the Nature Boy who endured financial struggles. The Snake was in the same pit, too. Jake Roberts. Jake the Snake Roberts was a legend in professional wrestling, celebrated for his psychological mastery in the ring and his iconic move, the DDT. His career peaked in the 1980s and early 1990s.
Yo, it's crazy that like the classic wrestling back then, moves like the DDT were like 100% like, oh, this is the finish. Like, yeah, people just using the DDT and just in their regular blue set. Like, nah, you don't got the Jake the Snake Roberts DDT though. That DDT lights your ass up. You're done. You're deceased.
With memorable moments like WrestleMania 3, where he performed in front of 93,000 fans alongside rock star Alice Cooper. Despite never holding a championship title in WWE, his storytelling and unique use of live snakes in his persona made him a fan favorite. However, his life outside the ring was tumultuous.
I kind of had a feeling that this narrator was AI, but that WDUE right there, I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know how we got that. Yeah, you might wanna give this another pass through the text to speech, my man. The hell was that?
Roberts struggled with severe drug and alcohol addiction, which derailed his career and led to financial instability. At his lowest point, he faced homelessness, poor health, and estranged relationships with his family, leading to his divorce. His journey to sobriety was long and grueling, but he credits his recovery to the intervention of friends like Diamond Dallas Page, who helped him through rehabilitation programs. Today, Roberts is a testament to
DDP, hell
resilience.
yeah.
He has been sober for years and remains active in the wrestling community, occasionally appearing in AEW and WWE WWE events.
Nice.
Beyond wrestling, he dedicates himself to helping others battling addiction.
Good on
sharing
Jake,
his
man.
story
Good on
to
Jake.
inspire recovery. Living comfortably now, Jake is an example of how one can rise from personal and professional ruin to find peace and purpose. This leads us to our next wrestler who went through turmoil. Dynamite Kid. At the height of his career, Dynamite Kid, real name Tommy Billington, was a groundbreaking force in professional wrestling. Renowned for his athleticism and innovation, he became a global sensation as one half of the British Bulldogs alongside Davey Boy Smith. The duo dominated the WWF in the mid-1980s, even winning the Tag Team Championship at WrestleMania 2, cementing their legacy as one of the most iconic tag teams of their time. However, the physical toll of his high-impact wrestling style became his downfall. By the late 1980s, Billington was plagued by severe injuries, including a devastating back injury in 1986 that nearly ended his career. Following a series of health issues and backstage conflicts, he left the WWF in 1988 and continued wrestling in Japan and smaller promotions. His declining health and financial mismanagement led to a life of struggle. By 1997, he was paralyzed due to spinal damage and spent the remainder of his life in a wheelchair. Medical bills further strained his finances, and fundraising efforts were launched to support him. Dynamite Kid passed away on December 5, 2018, his 60th birthday. While his life ended tragically, his influence on wrestling remains profound, inspiring countless performers with his revolutionary style and unmatched passion for the sport. Health issues led to his financial downfall,
Passing away on
but
your
not for this
birthdays.
next wrestler.
So wow.
Lex Luger. At the peak of his career, Lex Luger, known as the Total Package, was one of professional wrestling's biggest stars. His physique and charisma earned him widespread fame, with career highlights like slamming Yokozuna on
his
the
physique
USS
is
Intrepid
crazy.
during the iconic Lex Express tour. Luger moved seamlessly between WWE and WCW, becoming a key figure in the intense Monday Night Wars. Despite his fame, Luger's career never translated into a long-term WWE championship, but his contributions made him a household name in the wrestling world. However, Luger's post-wrestling life took a tragic turn. Substance abuse and legal troubles marked a dark chapter in his life. In 2007, a freak accident left him temporarily paralyzed after a spinal cord injury on a flight. This, combined with financial struggles, highlighted his dramatic fall from grace. Despite these setbacks, Luger refused to succumb to despair. He found strength and faith after a transformative moment in 2006, which he credits for turning his life around. Today, Luger has made an inspiring recovery and devotes his time to faith-based work and motivational speaking. He also volunteers at the Shepherd Center, a renowned rehabilitation facility where he continues his therapy. Though his health challenges persist, Luger's story is now one of resilience and redemption, showing that even in the face of adversity, it's possible to rebuild and inspire others.
Like, it's crazy hearing about like all the like it's like a through line with a lot of these guys where like there was like substance abuse and all that, and you figure like a lot of these guys, they were worked into like a lot of pain and whatnot during their like their tenures in the WWE or like wrestling in general. So they were like probably always on painkillers, and I could only imagine like how deep some of that shit goes, man. Like I don't envy him at all, because you gotta imagine the day they didn't have as many like I guess as many ways to get treatment or like ways to handle those fucking long-term issues that they were having. Like it always makes me like really sad to think about. These guys will really go out there and like put their bodies on the line, and then there's just so much darkness behind it when they're like not on camera, when they're not in front of the crowd, you know?
Perry Saturn. At his peak, Perry Saturn was a prominent figure in professional wrestling during the 1990s and early 2000s. Known for his time in ECW, WCW, and WWE, Saturn stood out as an agile, technically gifted athlete. He was part of memorable teams like the Eliminators and the Radicals, and held multiple championships, including WCW's World Television title. His charisma and skill in the ring earned him respect among fans and peers alike. However, Saturn's life took a devastating turn after his wrestling career. In 2004, While heroically intervening to stop a woman from being assaulted, he was shot multiple times, which left him severely injured. This incident marked the beginning of a downward
what the
spiral.
fuck?
Battling chronic pain and post-traumatic stress, Saturn fell into addiction, primarily to methamphetamine. His life unraveled further as he became homeless, living on the streets for several years while struggling with his substance abuse issues. In recent years, Saturn has sought to rebuild his life. He has spoken openly about his battles with addiction and homelessness, using his platform to share the importance of resilience and recovery. While health complications, including a brain injury, limit his activities today, Saturn finds solace in his faith and family. Though he no longer wrestles actively, his courage, both inside and outside the ring, serves as an enduring reminder of his complex yet inspiring journey. This takes us to the next person on the list. Scott Hall. Scott Hall, famously known as Razor Ramon, reached the pinnacle of professional wrestling during the 1990s. With his signature toothpick flick and confident swagger, Hall became an icon in WWE as the Intercontinental Champion and delivered unforgettable matches, including his ladder match against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania X. His career took another leap when he appeared on WCW Monday Nitro in 1996,
WrestleMania X, by the way.
Groundbreaking NWO faction with Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan. This group revolutionized wrestling, sparking the Monday Night Wars between WWE and WCW. Despite his immense success, Hall battled personal demons that would lead to financial ruin. Substance abuse issues plagued his later years, draining his earnings and impacting his career. Numerous arrests and stints in rehab made headlines, overshadowing his legacy. Hall's decline was a stark contrast to his golden years in the spotlight. However, thanks to the support of fellow wrestler Diamond Dallas Page, Hall began to rebuild his life, focusing on sobriety and regaining.
I hear nothing but like amazing things about DDP, like the whole DDP yoga thing and all that. And like it's so dope that there's somebody like that looking out for like the other wrestlers and whatnot. Like just the, you know, people who are like past their prime, way past their prime, or like not even actively compete anymore, and like, you know, they might still have like a chronic pains and all that, but like DDP is definitely there to like trying to help. You know, that's really cool. I think it's really dope.
Gaining control over his health. Tragically, Hall's life came to an end in 2022 after complications from hip surgery led to multiple heart attacks. Despite his struggles, his contributions to professional wrestling remain legendary. Inducted twice into the WWE Hall of Fame, Hall's story is one of triumph, tragedy, and redemption, cementing him as one of wrestling's most compelling figures. As Hall continues to rest in peace, let us have a look at another wrestler who went broke. Joey Mercury. In the mid-2000s, Joey Mercury stood as one of WWE's brightest stars. As part of the M&M trio alongside Johnny Nitro and Melina, Mercury captured the WWE Tag Team Championships 3 times. Their charismatic performances and dominance on SmackDown made them fan favorites, cementing Mercury's place in wrestling history. At the height of his career, he lived the dream many aspiring wrestlers yearned for, earning respect in the ring and enjoying the perks of success. However, beneath the surface, Mercury battled demons. His struggles with drug addiction began as a teenager and were exacerbated by the grueling wrestling lifestyle, where painkillers were a common escape from physical and mental stress. These issues spiraled out of control, and in 2007, WWE released him after his addiction threatened both his health and career. Mercury found himself grappling with severe financial challenges, including the foreclosure of his home. During this dark chapter, fellow wrestler CM Punk extended a helping hand, purchasing Mercury's house to prevent him from losing everything. Mercury eventually returned to WWE in 2010, first as a performer and later as a producer, helping the next generation of wrestlers. While his career has stabilized, his story remains a sobering reminder of how fame and fortune can slip away without a strong...
That is really dope of CM Punk to have like stepped in like that, man. It like, it's sometimes it's so hard to like imagine the like imagine them interacting and stuff outside of like the ring, if that makes sense. Like if they're like characters that don't really pop up on TV together, it's like I never really assume that they're like friends, and like if they have like bonds like that behind the scenes, like that's like finding out like John Cena is cool with fucking Jamie Noble. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, what? This is just like it's weird, but really cool on CM Punk for stepping in and making sure he didn't lose his house. I think that's really, really dope.
strong foundation. Today, Mercury works behind the scenes in wrestling, contributing his experience to the industry that once defined and nearly destroyed him. Pro wrestlers are normally well paid, but not the next one on the list. Kamala. At his peak, James Kamala Harris captivated audiences as the Ugandan giant, a towering 6'7" inches presence who brought a unique character to professional wrestling. Kamala debuted his ferocious persona in the early 1980s, famously feuding with legends like Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker. A highlight of his career was participating in the first ever televised casket match against The Undertaker in 1992, a milestone that cemented his place in WWE history. His intimidating presence and unmatched charisma made him a fan favorite during his prime. However, Kamala's life took a harsh turn after his wrestling career. Financial troubles plagued him due to low payouts for his performances compared to other stars of his era. Despite working in main events and drawing crowds, he often left shows with little compensation. Health issues further compounded his struggles. Complications from diabetes led to the amputation of both his legs below the knee, forcing him into early retirement in 2010. To make ends meet, he sold handmade furniture and relied on public support. Tragically, Kamala passed away in 2020 at the age of 70 due to cardiac arrest exacerbated by COVID-19. The next wrestler on the list is Marty Jannetty. Marty's wrestling career soared to prominence as one half.
Marty Jannetty. If you don't run that back, this is Marty Jannetty, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. Fire this AI. Fire it. The whole shebang. Fire it.
Half of the Rockers, alongside Shawn Michaels in the 1980s and early 1990s. Their dynamic energy, high-flying moves, and unmatched chemistry made them fan favorites in WWE, then WWF. They were seen as the modern-day Rock and Roll Express and redefined tag team wrestling. However, Jannetty's career took a downward turn after the Rockers split in 1992, a storyline famously marked by Michaels betraying Jannetty during a segment on The Barber Shop. Post-split, Jannetty struggled to replicate his earlier success. Personal demons, including substance abuse and legal troubles, overshadowed his immense talent. Although he had sporadic stints in WWE and independent promotions,
I swear that's like the through line, man.
His post-WWE career. Financial mismanagement further compounded his woes, leaving him in dire straits. Unlike Michaels, who became a WWE icon, Jannetty became a cautionary tale of wasted potential. Today, Jannetty continues to wrestle occasionally on the independent circuit, despite health issues and a limited audience. He's also made headlines for controversial social media posts and interviews, which have sparked concern among fans. This takes us to the first female wrestler on the list, Sunny. At the peak of her career in the mid-1990s, Sunny, born Tammy Lynn, was a trailblazer in WWE, widely regarded as the company's first true diva. Her charismatic personality and managerial skills helped elevate teams like the Bautista, earning her accolades such as Pro Wrestling Illustrated's Manager of the Year.
Is this Sunny out here like running people over and shit now? Like,
making her the most downloaded woman on the internet in 1996. However, her life spiraled after leaving WWE in 1998. Struggles with substance abuse and legal troubles plagued her for years. Multiple arrests for DUIs, disorderly
there goes
conduct,
that substance
and
abuse
parole
again,
violations led to recurring stints in jail. Financial difficulties forced her to pivot to adult content and independent wrestling appearances, but these efforts failed to stabilize her life. By 2022, she faced vehicular manslaughter charges, further tarnishing her legacy. Next on the list is X-Pac. Sean X-Pac Waltman rose to stardom as a high-flying, fearless wrestler who captivated fans in the 1990s and early 2000s.
Let's
His
go.
career peaked when he joined legendary factions like D-Generation X in WWE and the New World Order in WCW. Known for his athleticism and rebellious persona, X-Pac became a household name, winning multiple championships, including the WWE Light Heavyweight and European titles. His brash charisma and groundbreaking rivalries cemented his place in wrestling history. However, success came at a cost. Injuries, including a severe neck issue, sidelined Waltman, and his personal life began to unravel. Substance abuse and poor financial management drained his wealth, leaving him struggling both personally and professionally. Legal troubles and stints in rehab further exacerbated his financial woes. Despite
it is sad to hear about so many people having the substance abuse issues back to back.
Appearances and coaching roles. Today, X-Pac is a success story of resilience. He is sober and healthier, contributing to the industry that once defined behind him. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2019, solidifying his legacy. Beyond wrestling, Waltman is vocal about his journey, advocating for mental health awareness and inspiring others with his comeback. The story of X-Pac takes us to the next wrestler who went broke. Justin Credible. At the height of his career, Justin Credible, born Peter Polacco, was a major name in Extreme Championship Wrestling, the ECW. Emerging as one of the company's top stars in the late 1990s, he rebranded himself from a lower-card wrestler in WWE to the edgy, cocky persona of Justin Credible in ECW. Under this persona, he claimed the ECW World Heavyweight Championship in 2000 and was known for high-profile feuds with legends like Tommy Dreamer and Jerry Lynn. His Impact Players tag team, alongside Lance Storm, also captured the ECW Tag Team Championship, solidifying his status as a cornerstone of ECW's hardcore wrestling legacy. However, the collapse of ECW in 2001 marked the beginning of his financial struggles. Despite returning to WWE briefly, his success there paled in comparison to his ECW days. Sporadic appearances on the independent wrestling circuit failed to provide him with financial stability. Over time, Justin Credible battled personal demons, including substance abuse issues, which further drained his resources.
Dude, that it's so sad hearing that so many of them dealt with substance abuse issues, man. I guess when you've got disposable income and you dealing with the pain and all that all the time, you just kind of gravitate to a few things. And I wonder if it's a peer pressure issue too, if there were situations where other wrestlers got them into doing the substances and whatnot, it's kind of heartbreaking to hear about these characters or these wrestlers that were heroes back in the day, just kind of falling to the dark side of things with all these crazy situations as far as substances and whatnot. I'm sorry. I'm over here sad as hell. This isn't usually what I'm like. I'm not usually sad.
At one point, he publicly admitted to losing everything, including his home, and was arrested multiple times for domestic disturbances. These hardships painted a stark contrast to his once thriving wrestling career. Today, Justin Credible is working to rebuild his life. He has sought help for his personal struggles and now participates in wrestling conventions and interviews. Though far from his prime, he continues to fight for redemption, demonstrating resilience in the face of adversity. The next wrestler on the list is Tony Atlas. Tony, once celebrated as Mr. USA in the wrestling world, achieved significant fame during the 1970s and 1980s. Known for his chiseled physique and high-energy performances, Atlas was a mainstay in the WWF and held the Tag Team Championship alongside Rocky Johnson, marking a historic moment as the first African-American team to win the title. At the height of his career, Atlas was earning significant money, living the life of a star, and cementing his legacy in professional wrestling. However, his success unraveled as he fell into the traps of excessive partying, drug abuse, and financial mismanagement. Atlas admitted that he became consumed by the lifestyle, spending recklessly on parties, drugs, and other vices. A divorce and financial setbacks, including losing money entrusted to a friend and significant legal fees, further exacerbated his troubles. His career declined, and after leaving the WWF, he found himself homeless, surviving by sleeping on benches and scavenging food from dumpsters. This period marked a harrowing chapter for the once iconic wrestler. Atlas's life took a turn when Monica, a kind-hearted German woman, found him in dire straits and took him in. With her support, Atlas rebuilt his life, returning to the gym and eventually working his way back into wrestling. Today, he resides in Maine with Monica, attending wrestling events, signing autographs, and making public appearances. The story of Tony Atlas takes us to the next wrestler who had trouble reading and writing: Abdullah the Butcher. Abdullah the Butcher, born Larry Shreve, was once a towering figure in professional wrestling, known for his brutal style and intense feuds in the ring. His career, which spanned over 3 decades, peaked in the 1980s and 1990s when he became a legendary figure in various wrestling promotions like the WWE, NWA, and Stampede Wrestling. With his trademark look, blood-soaked matches, and menacing presence, Abdullah became one of the most feared and well-paid wrestlers in the business. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2011, a testament to to his impact on the sport. However, Abdullah's story took a tragic turn despite his fame and fortune. In his later years, he revealed that he had been financially exploited, particularly by his wife and her family. He lost control of his assets, including a home he purchased in Atlanta, Georgia, when the deed to the property was transferred to his wife and her brother without his consent. Additionally, his financial struggles worsened when he was involved in a lawsuit, losing millions due to a default judgment, as he was unaware of the legal proceedings against him. All these things happened because he was illiterate. Today, Abdullah the Butcher's life is marked by health issues, including the need for a hip replacement.
Bro, they absolutely finessed him. That's crazy. To lose millions on a damn legal proceeding that he didn't know was going on is insane. Like, yo, what? Somebody gotta get their ass beat. I'm running up on that judge like, yo, run that back one more time.
And he is largely confined to a walker. He has also lost his Hall of Fame ring and financial security. His wife is seeking a divorce, and he now relies on GoFundMe donations to help cover legal fees and medical expenses. The once mighty wrestler, now in his 80s, continues to fight for a better future despite the betrayal and financial ruin he endured. The next wrestler on the list is one of the fan favorites of all time, Bautista.
Bautista? Bautista. That's the way to do it.
At the height of his wrestling career, Dave Bautista, famously known as The Animal, was a 6-time WWE World Champion and one of the most dominant figures in the industry. His electrifying matches, intense charisma, and towering presence made him a household name in the early 2000s, particularly during his iconic rivalries with Triple H and The Undertaker. However, in 2010, Bautista decided to leave WWE at the peak of his fame to pursue an acting career despite having no experience or notable connections in Hollywood. This bold move proved challenging. Bautista struggled to land roles, and for 3 years, he lived through financial hardship. He admitted to going completely broke, losing all his savings, and facing a difficult period where he couldn't find work. Despite this, he refused to return to wrestling until he could establish himself in acting. His perseverance eventually paid off when he landed the role of Drax the Destroyer in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, a film that catapulted him into stardom. This role not only saved his finances, but also solidified his place as a Hollywood star. Today, Bautista enjoys immense success as an actor, with notable performances in blockbusters like Dune and Glass Onion. He has also returned to WWE for special appearances, most memorably wrestling Triple H at WrestleMania 35 in 2019. From wrestling rings to red carpets, Bautista has reinvented himself, proving that even after hitting rock bottom, resilience can lead to an incredible comeback. The story of The Animal takes us to another wrestling superstar who went broke.
Don't be shy.
Haiti Kid, whose real name is Raymond Kessler, was once a star in the wrestling world, rising to prominence in the 1980s with the WWF. His most notable moments include performing in a mixed tag team match at WrestleMania 3, where he teamed up with Hillbilly Jim and Little Beaver. Kessler also made appearances at major events like WrestleMania 2, often paired with fellow little person wrestlers. However, his life took a tragic turn after his wrestling career ended. Despite his early fame, he struggled with financial instability, and at one point, he found himself living on the streets of New York City. These hardships reflected the darker side of his career, as his fame faded and the financial rewards of wrestling did not last. After years of struggling, Haiti Kid now lives a quieter life, far removed from the limelight of the ring. This story takes us to the second female wrestler on the list, Daphne. Daphne, whose real name was Shannon Spruill, was a standout figure during the late 90s and early 2000s in WCW and TNA. She captivated fans with her goth-inspired persona, chaotic energy, and iconic screams. During her peak, she was involved in some of the most memorable moments in
I guess I can't
wrestling.
say nothing right now.
After WCW was bought by WWE, her career began
like
to
me
wane,
and this bitch.
and she
What the hell
faced
going on here?
numerous financial difficulties. She worked on the independent circuit and briefly with TNA, but struggled with personal challenges, which were later exacerbated by the trauma from her wrestling career. Tragically, in 2020, Daphne's life ended prematurely, leaving behind a legacy of unfulfilled potential and a reminder of the darker side of the wrestling industry. As she continues to rest in peace, let us take a look at another wrestler who went broke, Nick Gage. Nick's career peaked in the early 2000s, where he became a fixture in Combat Zone Wrestling. and was celebrated for his extreme style in death matches. He won the CZW World Heavyweight Championship multiple times, famously defeating Jon Moxley and other top stars in brutal high-risk bouts. His legacy in the hardcore wrestling scene
you fuck
was
around in those
cemented by
matches,
his
you lose
fierce
teeth and shit,
rivalries
man. I
and
don't
his
know.
iconic role in the rise of deathmatch wrestling. However, Gage's rise was marred by personal struggles and financial instability. In 2010, his career took a devastating turn when he was arrested for bank robbery. He served a prison sentence, which forced him to step away from the wrestling scene for several years. This period of incarceration set him back financially and personally, as he had to rebuild his life and career from the ground up. Despite these setbacks, Gage made a triumphant return to the ring in the late 2010s, becoming a cult favorite in the independent.
The late 2010s. Oh my God, you're killing me, Smalls. You're
Independent wrestling circuit. He revived his career through his work with Game Changer Wrestling, where his star shone brighter than ever, connecting with a new generation of fans. Nick's story leads us to another fan favorite wrestler, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's career peaked in the 1980s, solidifying his place as one of the most iconic figures in professional wrestling. He became the face of WWE with his larger-than-life persona capturing
You already
the
know how I
hearts of
feel about
millions.
Hulk Hogan.
Hogan's fame
Gross.
reached its height
Boo.
with his
Tomato,
involvement in the
tomato,
first
tomato.
ever WrestleMania and his unforgettable rivalry with Andre the Giant. He was the ultimate hero, a symbol of strength and virtue, and he capitalized on his fame by branching out into movies and endorsements. However, despite his success, Hogan's financial life took a sharp downturn. In the 2000s, Hogan found himself in financial ruin. Multiple divorces, lavish spending, and poor business ventures drained his wealth. The situation worsened when a tape of Hogan was leaked and published by Gawker Media in 2012, leading to a highly publicized lawsuit. Hogan sued for defamation and invasion of privacy, ultimately winning a $140 million verdict against Gawker, which filed for bankruptcy as a result of the case. His legal victory helped him recover some financial losses, but it did not completely solve his ongoing money issues. Today,
How did 140 million not ditch you out of whatever the fuck you were in, bro? The hell were you doing? Also, Arnold? What the fuck?
Hogan has managed to rebuild his career and public image, though he remains a cautionary tale in the wrestling world. He continues to make sporadic appearances in WWE
He has not rebuilt
and has
his
found a
public image.
stable source of income through media appearances and brand partnerships. The next wrestler on the list is Virgil. Virgil's peak came in the late 1980s and early 90s when he became a central figure in the WWE alongside the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. As DiBiase's personal bodyguard and later rival, Virgil gained major fan attention, culminating in his turn against DiBiase at the 1991 Royal Rumble, which made him a fan favorite. Virgil's stint in the WWE was highlighted
the AI
by
is
winning
falling
the
apart.
$1 Million
The AI is not
Despite
AIing,
this,
bro.
his career never really soared, and his fortunes began to decline when he left WWE in the mid-90s. His later career in wrestling was marked by low-profile roles, including brief stints in WCW and various independent promotions. His appeal gradually waned, and he struggled to maintain relevance without the spotlight of a major promotion wrestling world moving on. Virgil faced financial struggles, lacking the long-term endorsement deals or acting opportunities some of his peers had secured. He resorted to attempting to capitalize on his past fame by hosting autograph signings, often without Ted DiBiase's involvement, which led to a tarnished reputation. Virgil died on February 28, 2024, at the age of 61. If you enjoyed watching this video and would love to explore more exciting videos, like it, click on any of the cards on your screen.
Alright, so something like that's the end of the video there. AI stuff aside, with this here content, I always think it's really interesting to hear about wrestlers and the bonds that they have and like the situations that they might step in and help each other out, because like I feel like wrestling is such a thing where like you have to be in it to really get it, right? Like even as consumers of the shows, the products and whatnot, we don't really go through what the wrestlers go through. We don't, you know, we're not with them when they're in the hotel rooms after the shows and they've been like beaten to a pulp and everything is sore and they have back problems and there's no relief. Like we're not there with them. So to hear about people like DDP looking out for the other wrestlers or CM Punk stepping in when things were getting dark for Joey Mercury, is really like interesting. It's always fascinating to me to hear stuff like that. I don't really have a question of the video for you guys. I guess it could be like what's one really niche or unique story you heard about like wrestlers that isn't like broadcasted all over the place. Like, what's a really interesting little factoid that you have? You can check out the original poster of this content by clicking the top link of the description, and I'll see you in the very next video. So take care of yourselves.